Armenia has accused Azerbaijan of trying to advance into its territory after deadly fighting between the countries broke out overnight. Now, Armenia's prime minister has phoned world leaders to demand what he's calling an adequate reaction. Armenia released this footage, which the defense ministry says shows Azerbaijani troops trying to enter Armenia. Both sides claim their armies suffered casualties in fighting at the border. The neighbouring countries went to war in the 1990s and in 2020 over the disputed region of Nagorno-Karabakh.
Queen Elizabeth II made her final journey home to London today. Her coffin, draped in a royal standard, was carried through the city's rain-swept streets in a new hearse made by Jaguar in consultation with the Queen herself. It is brightly illuminated inside so that the multitude of mourners along the route could get a final glimpse of Her Majesty before it entered the gates of Buckingham Palace. An eerie dress rehearsal was held late last night for Monday's state funeral with a coffin draped in black. Bomb-sniffing dogs are already outside the palace, part of the massive security operation. There have already been disturbing breaches of security, the most serious when a man ran in front of King Charles's car.
Ukraine has called for more Western arms and assistance as it seeks to take back more territory from Russia. It comes after Ukrainian forces retook as many as 20 towns and villages in the east of the country within 24 hours. Well, Russia hit back with missile strikes against the city of Kharkiv, causing blackouts. But President Putin's tactics have been criticised by one of the leading military commanders fighting on the ground. Officially, the Kremlin says its forces are regrouping, not retreating. Well, this was the situation just a few weeks ago, with Russia still in control of much of the east of the country. That's the area in red. But mapping in the last 24 hours shows significant gains by the Ukrainians in purple to the east and as far south as Izium.
Эх, ёб твою мать!
Now, 5 people have been killed in a blast in northwestern Pakistan near the border with Afghanistan. It's the first major bombing in over a decade in an area that was once a battleground between security forces and rebel fighters. Tuesday's attack comes as fears rise about the return of the Taliban to the Swat area. This comes as talks between the TTP and the government, which started last year, failed. Now, officials in the Swat region say that the attack was carried out via a remote control bomb, which was used to target Idris Khan, an anti-Taliban leader. Now, according to locals, after the Taliban took control of the area between 2007 and 2009, members of these anti-Taliban groups, also known as village defense committees, fought against Taliban militants to protect their villages. The Taliban Pakistan claimed responsibility for the attack.
Thousands of Sudanese protesters took to the streets of the capital, Khartoum, on Tuesday to press demands for a return to civilian rule following a military coup last year. Many carried posters criticizing the military. Sudan has been rocked by waves of demonstrations since the armed forces led by General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan grabbed power in October last year. In July, Burhan pledged in a televised address to step aside and make way for Sudanese factions to agree on civilian government. Civilian leaders, however, dismissed the move as a ruse.
The police this morning were called in after there were reports of several bodies that were seen by passers-by on the N1. Then they came here with all the resources that were mobilized, as like your forensic services, your pathology, as well as K9 unit. So as soon as they got here, they combed the scene and then they discovered 6 bodies that we can confirm now. At this stage, we do not know what the motive is. The bodies are confirmed to have gunshot wounds, but we will be investigating cases of murder, 6 counts of murder, and then the motive will be determined. But we can say that with information that we have received, that these people that have died are confirmed to be, are suspected to be zamas.
2 airstrikes hit the capital of Ethiopia, Tigray region, Mekele, Wednesday morning, killing 10 people. According to local health workers, the death toll could climb as more patients were reaching the hospital. On Tuesday morning, a drone strike hit a university campus in Mekele, causing an unknown number of injuries. Tigray rebels have accused the government of carrying out fresh drone attacks in the regional capital, Mekele, 2 days after they said they were ready for an immediate ceasefire. But Ethiopia's federal government is yet to publicly respond amid reports of more talks between the two sides in Djibouti. The AU, the UN, and the US had welcomed the announcement by the Tigrayan forces.